All right, so the topic is we have a conversation between Dr. Voddie Baucham and Rashad Richey of the Young Turk. Let's go ahead and listen to this conversation. Great.
But there are some things that I would like to discuss with you on the record. Let's start with the social justice movement. I believe that church should be a place that expresses and transforms policy because of its value system. What are your thoughts about the Black Lives Matter movement?
There we go.
Wow, well, that's two very different things. The Black Lives Matter movement is very anti-church, it's very anti-Christian.
Facts.
It's a Marxist organization that was started explicitly as a Marxist organization that had openly anti-family and openly anti-Christian sentiments.
Okay, let me just show you the receipt real quick. My bad for stopping the video. Here's the receipt. It's not on their website anymore, but as you know, if you want to find something that the left is hiding, you go to the right? You go to Fox News. So Fox News had that report on Black Lives Matter removing what we believe website page calling to disrupt nuclear family structure. There's a link there, and damn, they saved it. So the left always have some type of dirt on the right, and the right, Fox News and whatever, they have some type of dirt on the left, the CNN and all the people on the left. So here, what we believe, this is from their website. Obviously, like the man said, it's not there anymore. But what we believe, you can see here all the way to the bottom, Black Lives Matter, what they are saying is, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended family and village. So basically they are against the nuclear family, which is a traditional family of a man, a woman, and the kid. The man being the provider. As a man, you have to work for your family, make sure your kids are fed, take care of your family, your wife, and then the mother being the emotional support to the man, taking care of the kid, being there for her whole family also. And the structure just so that the kids can end up being some great individual and go into the society and do the same thing. So they are against that.
Those sentiments had to be removed from their website because people found out about them.
Yep.
So if you're asking me about faith and Black Lives Matter, I would say that the two are mutually exclusive, especially from a Christian perspective.
Okay, let me put it to you this way, because I think what you're doing is connecting an organizational structure to the movement structure. And here's where I bring them back together. There's a movement to emphasize Black lives. And that doesn't mean those individuals are part of the organization Black Lives Matter. And there are some definite positives that Black Lives Matter. They've been able to work and negotiate with various governments around the country.
You mean in order to enrich themselves personally?
Another fact, bro. That's like check. I'm waiting for the checkmate. Here's the receipt again. It says here, BLM group rake in 90 million in donation last year. Leader disclosed finance for the first time, but angry local chapters say they are not being given any of the money. That's from the Daily Mail. Here's another one. On grieving mother slam BLM Patrice Cullor, who was one of the founder, for taking the money and running after she stepped down from executive role. There's a lot of report like that. Black Lives Matter, they made a lot of money for themselves, right? Like Patrice Cullor, for example, they made a lot of money from the movement, all right? So it says here that the self-proclaimed Marxist BLM leader came under fire after it was reported that she spent 1.4 million on a property in a predominantly white Los Angeles neighborhood. So those people just been making money. Her and a lot of people in the Black Lives Matter movement, they made a lot of money from the movement itself.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it, brother, since you posed the question. In Minneapolis, it was actually Black Lives Matter, the organization, who brought the attention to the murder of George Floyd.
Actually, it was the video that did that.
Well, sir,
they
remember,
didn't do that. The video did that. There was no need for them to do it because the video was
give
out
me
there.
a moment, brother. If I was a guest on,
that's already facts. The whole world watched that video. We all watched the video of George Floyd with the stupid police officer with his knee on George Floyd, and then George Floyd ending up dying. We all watched the video. There was nothing else that needed to be said. We all agreed that was wrong. We all agreed that that police officer made a mistake, that he should go to jail. He got what he deserved. The whole world watched it. But what came after that was not okay, bro. The destruction, the violence, the looting, the officer David Dorn. If you don't know who the officer David Dorn is, Google it. A police officer who went and helped his community during the Black Lives Matter riot after George Floyd's death. And he got shot. And he just got killed over a TV because people were looting, trying to steal TV. He came and he got shot. Just like that. I agree with what the pastor here is saying. That's fact. The video itself already said everything.
Sir, I would be respectful. We only have a certain amount of time. Not only did they bring in the organizers to help with the creation of protests and rallies and marches, they also negotiated with officials, including the mayor of Minneapolis. They're the ones who contacted Benjamin Crump directly. I'm friends with Benjamin Crump. They did something very similar in the city of Atlanta. They negotiated a new plan for policing in the city of Atlanta by meeting with Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. They did something similar in Miami, LA, and also New York. That was the organization. Now the organization, let's talk about the social justice movement of Black Lives Matter. If Jesus was here, do you think he would say Black Lives Matter?
That man brought Jesus in the conversation, bro. Let's listen.
Well, if Jesus was here, he would say lives matter.
Check, mate, touchdown, let's go home.
I know, for example, if Jesus was here, he would say that the Black lives that are being obliterated in the womb matter. And as a Christian, I believe that lives matter from the moment of conception all the way to their moment of natural death. Okay. And so I'm absolutely committed to lives mattering. Preach. But I will not be held captive by an organization that has used that terminology in order to back people into a corner and cause them to live with this cognitive dissonance between the organization that, again, is antithetical to biblical Christianity, and the idea that people, regardless of who they are and where they come from, matter. I'm a Christian. I believe people are made in the image of God and have inherent dignity, worth, and value.
Let me go.
Wow. Bars. When people say bars, if that was a poem, you know when they do poem and then people start doing this? Or people, if that was a dance recital or whatever, people start throwing shoes. The pastor is speaking facts, bro. Jesus will say life itself matter, right? And the life starting at conception in the womb of the beautiful mother matters. Bro, let's go.
To a statement you made about Jesus would say all lives matter.
So far, he's destroying this guy. This guy right here. This guy right here, he knows.
Remember the parable of the sheep, brother?
Actually, I said Jesus would say lives matter.
Do you remember the parable of the sheep?
Listen, you corrected me earlier for interrupting you. I'm gonna correct you now for misquoting me. I said, brother, Jesus said lives.
Okay, that's fine. That's a distinction that doesn't make a difference. My question to you was, would he say Black Lives Matter? And you did not agree that he would say Black Lives Matter. That was the genesis of my question. So my second question to you is, do you remember the parable of the sheep?
Yes.
You're a theologian.
Yes.
In that parable, Jesus talks about walking 100 sheep, and then one goes astray. The parable goes that the 99 are stopped, and attention or emphasis is placed only on the one. While we know through just a sense of humanity that all of the sheep technically matter, it's the sheep that has been put in this ditch that the shepherd stops everything, pauses everything to pay attention to that one.
What is he trying to? Let's keep listening.
See, I believe Jesus would have said Black Lives Matter because if you go to a community, brother, and you're looking at the deprivation in that community, there's an emphasis that needs to be placed on making sure we have economic equity, making sure that we have social access, making sure that we have reforms in policing and criminal justice, because those are the biases that we've been living under. So that would be the sheep in the ditch, brother, and the shepherd would pay attention to that one, as the parable says when Jesus spoke it. You don't agree with that?
I just want to say right away, it's amazing how people can use the Bible and the words from God, the word from God in the Bible, to just make their own argument. That parable wasn't about equity. Somehow it turned it into some type of equity, and somehow the one sheep in the Bible becomes the black, like the black community and whatever. It's amazing. It's amazing how people can use the Bible that way. The Bible, which is just a way of life. That's all it is. It's amazing.
Not at all, because you completely misused that text. The parable is one of three parables that were told together: the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son. The emphasis there is on the fact that the Pharisees did not celebrate when individuals came to faith in Christ. So you absolutely obliterated the meaning of that text.
Well,
the other thing is this. The other thing is this. I don't believe that black
wait a minute. You said I obliterated.
Bro, let him finish. He's destroying you. Let us be witness to your destruction right now. All right. And I'm not promoting violence, but I'm just saying, let him finish.
Wait a minute, Doc. You said I obliterated the meaning of the text.
So you get to finish, but I don't?
Well, I don't have unlimited time with you, brother, and I can't let you just blow me all the time.
So
you made an accusation.
And
you made an accusation.
You made one, you wouldn't let me get in. I'm saying you misused the text, and you won't let me, your guest.
Well, go ahead and tell me how I misused the text.
After you finished.
Go ahead and tell me. You got to be quick though, brother. How did I misuse the text?
You misused the text because you allegorized the text in order to pour your meaning into it, when Jesus very clearly used that text in order to say something very specific. You don't get to change what he meant by that. What was the
specifics of the text?
The specifics of the text were to rebuke the Pharisees because they were not celebrating when people came to faith in Christ. It didn't have anything to do with economic equity.
Because I don't have unlimited time, let me ask you about the social movement Black Lives Matter again. Do you think the social movement of Black Lives Matter is a bad thing, or do you think it's a good thing?
No, I think it's a bad thing. I think
Tell me why.
It's a horrible thing. Horrible thing.
Number one, I think it's dividing people. Let me go back to what you said earlier.
But people are already divided, brother.
Can I? Again, are we going to be equitable, since you're about equity? Can we be equitable in the way that we communicate with one another?
I got 1 minute, man. Go ahead, Doc.
So what I'm saying is, by the way, I love this.
Yeah, it's good.
What I'm saying is that if you go to those cities that you mentioned, yes, BLM got involved in Minneapolis and Atlanta, and the crime rate skyrocketed specifically because of the things that they got involved.
Facts. Bro, if you look at California, if you look at Minneapolis, if you look at Chicago, those areas where the Black Lives Matter movement was so intense, till to this day, like somebody said, to this day, bro, the violence over there, it's really high.
Yeah.
All right, that's
you have what's called this Ferguson effect. It's absolutely true. Anybody can go and look at this at the crime records before BLM got involved and after.
Okay, all right, I got to come to a close. My producer's giving me the rap sign. But I do want you to remember that in places like Baltimore, where Black Lives Matter had a strong presence as well, crime has actually decreased by double digits. Arrests have decreased by 39%. Incarceration has decreased by 28%. Murder and violent crimes has decreased by 12%. You can go and get those stats. 2 university studies did that. That was based on a coordinated effort between Marilyn Mosby and a reimagined prosecutorial format.
So what this man is saying is, the violent crime is down in Baltimore. Those are lies. Yes, it says here the Baltimore violent crime continue to touch community up and down the cities, while leadership says the number are trending down. It's a lie. It's a lie. The latest online statistics showed as of last month, homicide are up 3% compared to this time last year, while non-fatal shooting and overall violent crime are slightly down. So there's a difference. Though violent crime is only down when common assault are not factored into the data. So even though the mayor came and the official over there are lying to the people, it is not true. And he says here, when pressed about the data being down only when assault are not factored in, mayors called walk away without answering. Homicide, carjacking incident, aggravated assault, bank and convenience store robberies are all up compared to the same time last year. So the pastor is right. And here's another one. This is from the Baltimore Sun. Baltimore tried new ways to stop the violence in 2021, but homicide and shooting remain frustratingly high and consistent. This is from January 1st, 2022. So what he's saying is not true, and he's just lying. That man is just lying. You can go ahead and you can look online, but you have to find the right source. If you listen to the official, they'll tell you that the crime and whatever is down. No, they are lying, bro. They are lying. It says here, Baltimore's pace of killings have remained strikingly consistent, though city leaders are finding reasons to be hopeful. The homicide clearance rate has inched up in the last 3 years, 32, 39, 42%. It's going up. Police are arresting more people for the killing, however, slightly. Why? They have these new policies of just letting bad guys go free. It's crazy, right? But it's amazing how this man right here, just to make a point, is just lying like that. That's crazy, bro.
They've been able to decrease crime. Now you talk about the rise in crime.
So that's a lie. I just proved that to you. It's a lie. You just have to go and look at the right source. It's a lie.
Yes, some of these cities have seen a rise in crime, but you want to blame Black Lives Matter for the rise in crime when you are ignoring the fact that police officers called in with the blue flu, that cops refused to respond to calls, that executives and law enforcement and executives as politicians
why should that matter?
that
Because
these
Black Lives
cops,
Matter wants to
these
defund
cops
the
are
police.
unwilling to actually police.
Black Lives Matter wants to defund the police, so they got
want
exactly
to
what they were looking
reprioritize
for.
the budget.
No, sir.
Let me give you
they
an
want
idea.
to defund
Let me give you an
the
idea.
police.
Let me give you an idea to
Defund
consider.
means defund.
And they should defund it.
It's a
and
radical
reprioritize
Marxist
the budget.
idea.
Everybody who says we need to defund the police, I look at you and I say you are evil, bro. Because police officers are there to protect. The majority of police officers are protecting people. I always say that. I don't remember who said that. I need to Google it to find out. Somebody said, if you are hungry or if you are in trouble, call 911 and order food. See which one comes first. That's what I'm going to say about that. The moment you tell me that we need to defund the police, I look at you sideways, bro. Because all the celebrity, all the rich people, all the elite and the politician, bro, if you look at their security,
But think about
to the heart
what you're saying. Okay, I got to wrap, but think about what you're saying. Places like Ithaca, New York, 51% of the 911 calls did not even require a cop, they required a social worker. So Ithaca, New York decided to respond to their community and start hiring mental health social workers to respond to 911 calls because that is what the community said we actually need. No. But before I let you go, brother, you go around the entire world, literally the whole planet, and you preach what you call to be truth. Do you tell the white evangelicals you preach to they need to get rid of that picture of white Jesus?
Oh, Lord. This is such a dumb question. It had to go with some type of racist thing. White people, The man just told you at the beginning of the interview that he believes we are all created by God. He doesn't believe in skin color.
I tell them they need to get rid of pictures of Jesus, period, because it's a violation of the second commandment.
But I think Jesus is okay.
A picture of Jesus is a violation of the second commandment. So I don't want to see any pictures of Jesus because it's a violation of the second commandment. It's a graven image.
But you tell them to get rid of their white Jesus.
It's a graven image. They need to get rid of it. They shouldn't be pictures of Jesus.
Wow, I never thought of that. But basically the second commandment, and I'm paraphrasing, basically teach us that God is greater than anything we can see or imagine, right? I never thought about it that way. That's something to, think about. Amazing.
Doc, I got to bring you back on when we have more time. But I appreciate you, man. You're a good sport, brother. All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Great interview. I'll put the video link in the description. Let me know what you think about this. It's amazing. God bless you. See you on the next one.